can get some serious touches for the Hawks.
I think with Cam, it has no question to do with his talent. I think he's one of the most talented players on the court at any given time. I think it has to do with his experience. I think if he played throughout high school, he'd definitely be right up there in the starting lineup.
I absolutely agree with you, Sean. I think Nick Flemmer should get some action here tonight also.
For sure. He's been solid all year. Not playing... He played freshman and sophomore year, skipped junior year, however reached out to Coach Hopkins when he was given the opportunity, and has made the most of his minutes. Great hustle, spark plug off the bench, making the most of his senior year here on this basketball squad. Has really active hands on defense and can distribute the ball well as well.
Flemmer is also a standout soccer player, as I believe he either plays midi or offense. And here we are also looking at Lucas Rosington in his last game suiting up for the Hawks. He is the former hockey player suiting up in the basketball jersey here tonight one last time, playing with his good friends, and expect to see a lot of touches for him.
For sure. I'm sure that he's going to be a key player this game, considering all of Wellsville's height, considering the three players, 6'4". I'm sure he's going to have to be a big body down low and serve the Hawks well, as they don't have as much height as Binghamton does, especially here tonight. However, I'm sure he'll try and handle that the best that he's able to.
One would argue that the Hawks' biggest weakness is not shooting or offense or passing. It's actually their inability to get rebounds, because this team might be very talented, but they don't have nearly as much size as, say, looking at Wellsville over here, that definitely has, as you said earlier, 4 players 6'4" or over.
I'd have to agree.
I would definitely be using guys like Cam Laughlin and Eric Kopp and Lucas Rosington all throughout the game. Keep them fresh. Keep them rotating in all the time. Make sure that your big men are all fresh and able to get boards for you, because those are going to be crucial tonight, especially with the kind of matchups that they're going to have, height matchups specifically, with this Wellsville team. We'll have to see if any players are particularly devastating on the boards.
You have to keep in mind the Hawks have 7 players suiting up for tonight. Excuse me, I believe it's 8 players. We have
only 8?
I do believe so, as right now, as you all know. We have Noah Walker as well as Justin Rodriguez unable to suit up for tonight because of that last
altercation.
Yes, that incident against the game against Horseheads. So that will be the 1 game of suspension. Unfortunately, Noah Walker missing out on playing in his senior night, which I'm sure he isn't too happy about. Definitely not the best choice there of timing. However, it is what it is, and I'm sure he'll bounce back in his last game against North Star Christian tomorrow.
North Star Christian, of course, has that incredible player. What's his name, Sean? Miles?
I believe his name is Miles Brown, committed to Nebraska, an absolutely insane player. And as a brother that's arguably almost as talented as him already, I'm sure he's going to be the next big thing for North Star Christian once Brown heads over to college.
Sean, unfortunately for the Hawks, they will not be playing in the postseason, and this is their last home game. Tomorrow is their last game. So really, these last couple of games are all for pride right here. But the silver lining in this Hawks season is just the incredible youth that they have on the team. They've got so many underclassmen and even an 8th grader on the team. It's incredible. And this 8th grader is starting, named Jackson Casey over here. He's got incredible ball handling. His shooting and his size and muscle, it's all going to get better as he goes and improves throughout high school, which he is not even in yet. So definitely plenty of potential for this team. Losing Haggart and Laughlin and Flemmer, that's all going to hurt next year. But they are definitely going to be a team to watch going forward.
See, Alex, I have to agree with that. However, considering that the Hawks had an underwhelming season, to say the least, with just a couple of wins, I have to wonder what Casey, as well as Rodriguez, Chamberlain, and Nick Garner, could have done out the JV squad, as JV had a decent year, going about a 500 record, I do believe. Tomorrow will be the tiebreaker for that. And I think the JV could have really been something special, considering all 4 of those players up on varsity would have started for JV.
Well, of course, Sean. I'm sure that all those players are going to be playing, getting good starting time for the varsity team next year. And it's going to be truly special what we're going to be able to see the next couple of years out of these extremely young players, as a kid like Casey has 4 more years of varsity basketball.
It's crazy to think about.
That is incredible to think about. So he's got plenty to look forward to. He's going to have, by the time he is done, he will have 5 varsity letters from basketball, which is just incredible.
Insane. Absolutely insane.
Just incredible.
All right.
I believe here in a second, oh, I'm sorry, Sean, we will be taking a quick break to pay our respects for our national anthem.
Emergency medical attention can be provided by reporting the emergency to the nearest supervisor. Thank you for your cooperation. At this time, those who are able, we invite all current and former members of the United States military to please rise and be recognized for your heroism and sacrifice. Thank you. From a grateful nation. And now, those who are able, please rise and remove your hats for the singing, for the playing of our national anthem. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please give your attention to center court. We have some very special guests this evening. The great Gators will now sing the Corning Alma Mater.
But they don't go here.
And that was a nice little performance from our elementary school over here, already knowing our high school national anthem, Sean.
Alma mater.
That's the word I was looking for. And now we are looking at the starting lineups for Wellsville.
And starting at guard, we have Alec Akampora starting at 5'8". That is guard number 2. And he is going to be followed by Max Jusianek, 6'4", number 3. He's going to be followed by number 23, that is Joe Trinetti, coming in at 6'1". Also, Jimmy McKinley out there, number 25, standing at 6 foot. And last but not least, rounding out the starting 5 for Wellsville, we have Colin Cook standing at 6'4".
And Jeremy Goro.
Now our starting lineups for the Corning Hawks.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the starting lineup for our very own Corning Hawks.
First up, we do have 5'11" freshman, Aiden Chamberlain. Another example of that fantastic youth.
Starting in forward, a 6'4" senior, number 23, Cameron.
Next up, getting the start on senior night, we have Cam Laughlin, the 6'4" senior, number 23.
I love to see that. I'm glad he's getting a chance tonight.
I completely agree, Sean.
As well as Nick Flemmer out there as well, getting the start.
Number 12.
Starting in forward, a 6'3" senior, number 21.
Followed by number 21, Lucas Rosington. So an all-senior lineup except for Aiden Chamberlain out there tonight.
A 6'3" senior, number 2, Jordan Haggard.
And of course, Jordan Haggard rounding out the starting 5. The stud of the Corning Hawks basketball program, really the darling of the program. And he's been a special player here for as long as I can remember watching Hawks basketball. And really, this is just going to be a special night for him. Last game in a home Hawks uniform. Really should be special for him. I expect to see a monster performance out of him tonight.
I'm sure. And there are reports that there is a college here to look at Haggard tonight, as there has been a couple times throughout this season. So
I believe that college was Mansfield.
So I'm sure he'll be looking to go off.
Absolutely. All of these seniors are going to be looking for extra touches here tonight.
And Wellsville wins the tip. Ball in the hands of Alec. And he kicks it over. Back in his hands. Over to number 23 on the wing. Back up top. And a nice 3 deep early from Max Jusianek, standing at 6'4". A great example of that Wellsville height.
That is a great first trip down the floor for Wellsville here, Sean. As he just showed off some incredible range. Maybe guard him a little tighter next time.
And Cam Laughlin answers with a 3 of his own.
The Hawks student section is going wild after that shot, Sean. As Cam Laughlin hasn't had a ton of minutes this season, but finally gets to be able to have his moment, and a huge moment here in the beginning of this game.
Right now we have a Kompa up top on the wing. That's back out too once again, and that's going to be a missed 3 right there from Jusianek. That puts him at 1 of 2 for the game.
Shout out to Garrett Sakona catching that ball and getting it back into the game as soon as possible.
Now we have Nick Flemmer bring the ball up the court. And kicks the ball over to Chamberlain on the wing. Gets a pick from Rossington. Rossington dives. Chamberlain goes to the bucket, lays it up, and puts it in.
Great start for the Hawks here, Sean. As one look from 3 for Laughlin, which he managed to hit with ease. A dead-eye 3. And then Chamberlain getting into the lane for an easy 2.
And right now, ball once again in Jusianek's hands. They kick it over to McKinley on the wing. And that's gonna be a Kumpa up top, back out to Trinetti, and that's a miss. Trinetti puts it back up and hits the second one.
There is one of those offensive rebounds which we were talking about before the game, Sean, as the Hawks cannot allow those tonight. If they want to win this senior night matchup, they need to be getting every board possible.
Haggard pulls up from deep, can't quite hit it.
Perhaps
board brought in by Juicianic. Excuse me, Alex. What were you going to say there?
Oh, I apologize, Sean. Maybe just a little too shot hungry there. Maybe the nerves are still going early in the game. He's just got to be patient, look for good shots as the game goes along.
And that's going to be the first foul of the game going against Wellsville. And that's going to go against Juicianic. That's his first foul. Right now we have Haggard inbounding the ball in the backcourt.
Looks like Nick Flemmer will initiate the offense as the smallest guy on the court right now, but definitely very fast as he has all those abilities on the soccer field.
It's interesting to see Flemmer right now matched up against Juicianic, the 6'4" guard. And that's Rossington with a nice layup right there, getting the nice roll in.
Hawks offense just on fire to start this game, Sean, as I don't believe they have missed a shot other than Haggard's heaved three, which was perhaps ill-advised. But I'm sure that the shots are going to start to fall for him as the game goes along, as they always do.
And that's a nice spin move to the left-handed hook right there. Great move by the 6'4" Colin Cook.
Definitely a very offensive game so far. Perhaps the Hawks are looking to put the clamps on here.
And Chamberlain crosses himself up, hits the floor, kicks it over to Rossington. Back to Chamberlain. Now Flemmer has it up top. Screened by Laughlin, trying to get Haggard open. Flemmer appears stuck up top a little bit.
Doing a lot of dribbling. Manages to pass it over to, I believe that's Chamberlain.
He drives in, passes to the Wellsville bench right there as the shot clock violation rings out.
Here's an example of that aforementioned sloppy passing, which we've been talking about in the past. They definitely cannot afford to do a lot of that tonight, especially if Wellsville is going to keep on shooting like they've shown here in this first couple of minutes.
And right now, that is Trinetti with the ball up top. He kicks it over. Back in Trinetti's hands. He's going against Haggard. Fakes it. Oh, nice dish down low, however, can't be brought in by Cook right there. Haggard bring the ball up the court. Screened by Rossington. Picks up his dribble. Kicks down low to Rossington. And that's going to remain Corning ball.
Good job by Rossington not touching that, as it was a little questionable as to who it had gone off of, but looks like he made the right call there.
And right now, ball in Haggard's hands. He drives by, steps back, and is blocked right there. Good board by Rossington, who puts it up and in.
Lucas Rossington is having a game so far, as he has 4 of the Hawks' 9 points, and he is just using his size to get to the rim. It's really looking like a problem here for Wellsville in the first quarter.
Right now, that's going to be Juicianic with the ball. Kicks it over to Reed. Ball now in Trinetti's hands. He's got it by Chamberlain. Kicks it over. Nice pump fake right there. And that's going to be a nice midi right there by Juicianic once again.
The mid-range and three-point jumpers are just falling for both teams right now. The offenses are really flowing well. Maybe tighter defense might be necessary, as there's a steal on the aforementioned poor passing right there. Laughlin almost gets the block, but...
And that's actually going to be a turnover right there, as Flemmer making a mishap on the inbound right there. Appeared he stepped over the line before he was able to get it in.
That is unfortunate. An unforced error there by the Hawks. Definitely not something you like to see.
Right now, out of bounds, we have Reed inbounding the ball. And kicks it right down low to Cook once again for that easy lay-in down low.
Jordan Haggard definitely needs to start shooting a little bit more. He's been, I don't want to say a slump here at the beginning of the game, but maybe a little beginning of the game funk. I'm sure he'll get out of it, but he just has to keep shooting as he gets to to the line for 2 free throws there.
I'm sure that's going to be a good confidence booster for him. Free throws, great way to get the offense flowing.
Perhaps maybe he should look to a couple open guys a little bit more often, because he is getting doubled all the time. So that means that there's definitely somebody open elsewhere on the floor.
And right now, after Haggard hits the first, we've got Jackson Casey as well as Nick Garner checking in for Chamberlain and Flemmer. Excuse me, that's going to be Laughlin and Flemmers. Chamberlain will stay in the game. Haggard knocks down the second as well. Is now Wellsville taking down the court.
Did not catch any rim on either of those 2 free throws. Excellent free throw shooter here.
That's just repetition right there.
Definitely has the confidence to knock them down with ease.
That's a good tip right there by Haggard.
Great defensive play here by the Hawks. They want to be seeing more of those. Jackson Casey, the smallest guy on the floor right now, an 8th grader, definitely still growing, putting on muscle mass. He definitely is a spark plug off the bench.
In fact, he has even gotten the start in most games, I want to say, this year, as perhaps senior night Flemmer does get the knock over him. And that appears to be a missed call down there. Thought Haggard drew a charge. However, that's a nice rebound brought in by Nick Garner. Haggard taking the ball up the court, kicks it to Chamberlain.
There's 2 straight forced turnovers by the Hawks defense. That's what you like to see.
And right now, Casey has it up top.
Casey dribbling it around a little bit, looks for a screen, doesn't seem to quite work too well. Passes over to Chamberlain.
And that's a missed 3 right there by Chamberlain. Not his best feature of his game, but is able to knock it down occasionally. I'm sure he'll look to keep shooting the open 3 if it's there.
Here, Max Jusianic, I believe that is how his last name is pronounced, has been putting on a show here. Hit the first shot of the game with that cold-blooded 3 late in the shot clock from deep beyond the 3-point arc. He has been an impressive player here for Wellsville tonight, as he doesn't seem to have an incredible amount of muscle mass, but he definitely has length and a lot of distance covered in his strides.
Reminds me of a similar body type to Cam Laughlin, standing at around the same height at 6'4".
Absolutely,
and definitely
I completely agree with
slim
that.
figure. And right now, we have number 23, Joe Trinetti, as he did start the game, checking back in right there for Jusianic.
Lots of tremendous names out here for Wellsville.
And that's Colin Cook missing that second free throw. Haggard bring the ball up the court. He's guarded by Trinetti. Tries to spin off him, doesn't quite get it. Chamberlain at the corner. Picks it up, dribbles it. And Casey has it. Oh, nice fake move right there as he gets by his defender out to Garner.
Lots of lateral quickness for Casey, as he can just do plenty of things with the basketball. Just a wizard with the ball in his hands.
And right now we have Akampora up top with the ball. He's on the right wing, posting up Casey. Right now Trinetti has it. 20 seconds left. No shot clock for Wellsville right now, so I'm sure they'll look to get one last shot and extend their lead of 2 points to more.
Looks like he's just going to dribble out the shot clock. Passes it over into the corner.
And that's a missed opportunity right there.
Get it down the floor and shoot it.
And Haggard comes up short on that full court heave. The first quarter is going to end with the Hawks down 13-15. Now, Alex, what did you see there at that first quarter?
Well, I saw a tremendous effort, lots and lots of offense, as the shots were just falling for the Hawks here in the first quarter. They just seem to be in some sort of groove. Maybe it's the crowd getting them into it. Maybe it's just Coach Haggard, or excuse me, not Haggard. Hopkins gave them a particularly good pep talk before the game, asking them to play their hearts out for the seniors. But they're really just hitting on all cylinders right now. It's just that Wellsville has been playing just as good on offense, just as well on offense, excuse me. So really just plenty and plenty of offensive talent here on the floor tonight. And it's been an entertaining first quarter here, Sean.
I might even say this is the best I've seen this Hawks roster play all throughout this season, really, as they have just played outstanding ball tonight. However, Wellsville just hitting a couple shots there, that does have them in the lead by 2.
I would have to believe that they are playing for their seniors here tonight. What do you think about the performance of Jordan Haggard so far in this game, Sean?
I think he's had a quiet first quarter, has 4 points right there off a layup and a pair of free throws.
Quiet by his standards.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll, as the game continues on, he'll look to put the ball in the basket a little bit more.
That's still on pace for 16 points, which is still nothing to sneeze at.
And right now, Garner has the ball, kicks it back to Rossington, back over to Casey. Hopkins calling out single, which is one of the Hawks' quick hitters. And Garner has the ball up top, pressured heavily, drives by his defender, down low to Rossington, in between his legs, and actually stays cornering ball.
Impressive little soccer move, getting the ball up and bouncing with his foot right there. May not be basketball related, but it's still impressive nonetheless. Ooh.
And that's going to be a foul. Appears it'll go against Joe Trinetti, as Haggard will head back to the line.
Jordan Haggard is a fantastic free throw shooter, and definitely not the guy you want to put on the line.
He is 2 of 2 so far in the game, as he'll look to make that 4-4 right here. And he does miss that first free throw right there.
I'm sure he's just got to keep shooting. Eventually, by the time the fourth quarter comes, he'll be shooting the lights out, guaranteed.
And doesn't make the same mistake twice, as he does knock down that second one. And right now, Akampora dribbling the ball up the court. Takes it to the right wing. Nice tip pass by Casey there. And that's another deep three.
That
from Juicy
is disgusting. That's just a ridiculous shot there from Juicy Yannick, as I think he was on a that was just an incredible shot. I'm almost at a loss for words here, as he was falling to his right from, I think it was like 3 feet behind the three-point arc, and somehow he managed to heave it up and put it through the rim. He's just an incredible shooter. Great player here for Wellsville.
The arc on this shot is just incredible, as he gets it up so high and just goes right in.
Beautiful to watch. They definitely want the ball in his hands as much as possible.
As they do have right now, as he's dribbling the ball up the court, kicks it over to Akampora. He's dribbling it against Casey, back out to Trinetti.
Oh my God, there's that aforementioned fantastic stride length, as he was able to get to the rim but cannot quite finish. As there is Chamberlain, who also has a fantastic ability to get to the rim. Really a lot of length, as NBA scouts say it, and size here on the floor here for both the Hawks and Wellsboro.
I'm sure Gardner here not giving it. And however, as we don't give any space to Juicianic there, it doesn't matter as Trinetti hits a 3 right in the defender's mouth right there, putting them at a 5-point lead.
Here is Haggard dribbling the ball in the backcourt. Gets doubled. That definitely means somebody's open. Gets the ball back. Ooh.
Pulls from deep right there. Comes off the right side of the rim.
Perhaps a little early in the shot clock and a little early in the game to start taking those.
That's another great take right there. Juicianic just putting on a scoring show.
He might be playing in college. I don't really know anything about him. But just based on what I've been seeing here tonight, he might want to be looking at getting colleges to look at him for a college spot, or a spot on a college roster.
I wouldn't be surprised. He, from what I've seen, is an outstanding talent. And Haggard right there getting doubled once again. Picks up his dribble. Finds Gardner in the corner. Nice pump fake. Drives by. Can't quite get the layup. But that's a nice layup by Rossington.
Rossington is just showing out here on his senior night, as he has had some impressive plays. I think he has either 6 or 8 points.
I believe he's at 6 points.
6 points, okay. And he's definitely using his size to get rebounds, as he just did there. Get the tip back. And there's another offensive rebound, which the Hawks cannot afford to allow.
thankfully, Haggard makes up for that missed rebound right there and takes a charge, as a couple subs will head into the game for each team.
This has been an incredibly entertaining offensive game so far here, Sean. As we don't really like to say it, but defense isn't nearly as entertaining as offense, and we've seen more than enough offense and shooting here tonight.
And right now, we're seeing our first appearance from Kopf here, going against Cook, which he actually does have the height advantage over him. And
not
nice
many people he
cross by
doesn't have the
Casey.
height advantage over.
And
Now Chamberlain looks outside. I believe that's, Nick Gardner.
Missed attempt right there from 3. Ball in Trinelli's hands. He's kicking it over to number 12. That's McKinley. I believe he's got a brother on the team as well as Jimmy and Liam McKinley.
Liam McKinley, he doesn't look like an upperclassman. Perhaps another example of the fantastic youth here on the floor tonight.
And right now, Haggard has the ball on the left wing. Calls for his screen for Kopf right there. Showing off the handle. Drives in, gets fouled. Almost an N1 right there, but he'll head back to the line once again.
I think over half his points are going to be from the free throw line here tonight, as it's clear that Wellsboro would rather him be shooting free throws.
Wellsville, excuse us.
Oh, Wellsville, I'm sorry. I've been saying that wrong all night. I apologize.
And then another missed free throw right there from Haggard. And Laughlin checks back into the game for Gardner. And I'm sure Haggard will look to put this free throw in right here. As he does, closing the gap to 6 points.
Now we are looking at Liam McKinley bringing the ball down the floor.
He's going against Casey. And that's going to be an illegal screen, I believe.
Hawks student section is getting into it. Only down 6 points here. Game is not out of reach by any means, especially with the shooters the Hawks have on the floor.
And that last foul is going against Colin Cook, as he does get taken out of the game right now, as Jimmy McKinley does check into the game for him.
Here to take the ball up the court for the Hawks, I believe that is Jackson Casey, showing off his handling ability there.
Cam Laughlin once again in the corner.
Oh.
Hit that 3 earlier, but airballs that one as perhaps a little cold from being in off the bench, and that's going to remain Corning ball.
Definitely looks to... I'm not sure how he ended up airballing that. That's not something he usually does, as he's a great shooter, but... he's just got to keep shooting. I keep saying that, but it's very true.
I'm sure that's from just him being on the bench this first play back onto the court.
Absolutely.
Perhaps a little cold from that time on the bench.
He looked a little off balance in his setup too, so maybe that threw him off just a tiny bit.
And Chamberlain gambles, excuse me, going for that steal. Doesn't quite get it. Shot goes off the rim, and that's going to be Corning ball. And right now, my worst nightmare of pronouncing their last name, Akampora, checking back in.
I think you're allowed to say that, Sean.
All right, and Casey dribbling the ball right now in Kopf's hands. Kicks it over in the left corner to Chamberlain.
Maybe get a post touch for Eric Kopf, who can use his incredible size to maybe get a good matchup down low on the block. Maybe a lob pass even.
And he's on the right block right there. Back to Laughlin out for 3, and that's going to hit off the back of the rim.
Nice rebound
with the
from Casey.
board.
Oh, impressive block by Wellsville. Great defense being played. That's a new shot clock for the Hawks as the offense will reset.
Casey has the ball up top. Hawks resetting into the offense. Kick down low to Laughlin. Back out to Haggard. Takes a dribble inside the three-point line. Missed that off the left side of the rim.
Maybe the shooters are just cooling off a little bit. Came out of the gates on fire. But now they're just looking to get great offensive shots.
Oh.
Take charges like that to get the ball back to their offense.
That's actually going to be a blocking foul against Casey. I'm sure that has to do with his size. Hard to stay on his feet with a nudge like that from the opposing team.
Absolutely. You got to think that the kid might get pushed around a little bit as an 8th grader playing varsity basketball, but that's to be expected, and I'm sure that as his career goes on, he will get bigger and stronger and be a fantastic player.
And again with the height from Casey, giving up a layup right there.
Just imagine, Sean, what kind of player Jackson Casey can be when he's a senior.
I'm sure it's going to be something special as Chamberlain in the corner. Missed that three. Laughlin's flying in with a rebound. Missed that putback right there. Laughlin showing off the bounce right there. Is Laughlin one of a few players on this Corning squad that can dunk?
Would definitely be interesting to see a dunk here from the Hawks tonight.
And that's going to be a charge on that one, drawn by Jackson Casey.
Jackson Casey might be a tad bit undersized, but is playing tenacious defense here for the Hawks on senior night.
All right, and Casey's going to be inbounding the ball right there. And Aiden Cook back into the game for Wellsville with 1:25 left to play in the second quarter. Haggard taking it up the left side of the court. Gets a screen by Rossington, decides not to use it. Euro steps and lays it up and in.
Brilliant move right there from Haggard as he just showed off what all these college coaches and scouts are drooling over.
You could see the defender was getting prepared to get hit by that screen from Rossington. However, Haggard, seeing that, decided to go back the other way and Euro it in for the floater there.
Very impressive finish, too, as not many players can make that shot, especially off balance going the opposite direction.
Yeah, that was an impressive move right there from Haggard.
Definitely harder than it looks.
And right now we're in a timeout. The score is 23 Corning to 27 Wellsville.
Sean, what do you think the Hawks could do better to erase this 4-point deficit, which they have started to whittle down, which used to be, I believe, an 8 or a 9-point deficit?
Alex, I really think it just comes down to putting the ball in the basket, which I think we're getting fantastic shots tonight. I just think they're going to start falling later, which will eventually bring us back into the game.
With these kind of shooters, all that it takes is one hot streak, and they are incredibly dangerous.
All right, and the ref sharing a word right there with McKinley.
Can't imagine what he's saying right there.
And right now the ball in Akampora's hands. He's kicking over to Trinetti. Back down low to Cook right there. That's out to Jusianek. He's taking on Chamberlain. Oh, good pass, but that's going to be a foul against Laughlin, which he isn't too happy about, expressing his distress right there.
Nice dish inside, though. You can't deny that. As maybe it was a little risky, but the reflexes and the passing accuracy he showed off were just excellent.
Jusianek with the ball in the left corner. That's going over to Akampara. Back over to Jusianek, wide open. Oh. And does miss that one off the right side of the rim. Rossington gets the board.
It's to the point where you expect him to make it, and you're surprised when he misses.
And that's Casey out on the three-point line. Thought about it, decides not to. Rossington drives by, and that's going to be a travel called against Rossington.
Yep, looked like an up-down to me here.
And 30.3 seconds left remaining. Wellsville looking to extend their 4-point lead to a bit more right here.
I believe the shot clock is off. So this will, in all likelihood, be the last shot of the first half.
Jusianek getting a screen right there from Cook.
Definitely the guy they want taking this final shot.
And he's got it by Rossington, locking him down as of right now. That's going to be a foul called against Rossington. Not the best sequence of possessions from him, as a turnover on one end and a foul on the other.
Not quite sure what the call is here, as Nick Flemmer checks into the game for Lucas Rosington.
I'm sure that has to do with foul trouble, not wanting to pick up another one before the half.
Especially not with 11.4 seconds left.
And Casey gambles, doesn't quite get the ball. And Jusianek has the ball with 5 seconds left to go. He actually dished it to Cook from right in front of the free throw line, who misses. Haggard saves it, and that's going to wrap up the first half.
Tremendous first half here, Sean, as we've seen plenty of offense, plenty of fireworks from both these squads, and really just a fantastic performance overall. Some people just love seeing great offense, and that is exactly what we're seeing here tonight.
Definitely tickets worth your money, as you're seeing Juicy Yannick on one end going against Haggard, which I'd say for him a little underperformance there in that first half. However, I'm sure he'll look to turn up in that second half. However, that's going to conclude it for the first, and we will be back to you for coverage of this game, varsity basketball from Wellsville against Corning. Thank you for staying tuned, and we will be back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our broadcast of CPP Sports here on WVHN, the voice of Hawk Nation. We do have a quick announcement, a concession announcement, as if your name is Linda and you ordered a slice of pizza, you might want to go grab that from the concession stand.
Yeah.
As we are ready to start the second half of Corning basketball here, as we had an incredibly entertaining first half of action here. Just a shooting clinic going on as both teams came out hot, and just based on what warm-ups for the second half are looking like, they're staying hot. What do you think, Sean?
I definitely think it was a showcase of offense throughout the first half. I think in the first quarter especially, the Hawks hitting lots of shots. However, in the second quarter, number 3 for Wellsville, actually, that is Max Jusianic, went off in the second quarter.
Jusianic was just incredible tonight, and I can't wait to see what else he is able to bring to this floor later tonight. I know that we're affiliated with Corning Painted Post High School, but sometimes you just get an opposing player who's just awesome to watch, and Jusianic is one of those players.
The arc and the form on his shot, the way it releases out of his hands.
When the ball drops, it's got icicles on it, dude, as he is just an icy shooter. Now here to inbound for Wellsville, we have number 25, Jimmy McKinley, excuse me.
And it appears he'll look to get it to Jusianic.
Jusianic brings it up the floor, dribbles with Chamberlain on him, the Hawks' best defender, as that is Flemmer guarding his man. Ball passed over into the corner to Jusianic, over to number 23, passes out to Jusianic once more, back to 23.
And Trinetti hits the 3.
Joe Trinetti, another shooter here for Wellsville, as just seems like their team is crawling with shooters, Sean.
Yeah, it appears every time you think there can't be any more threes, it's just they hit another one. As Cam Laughlin, can he hit this one? As another 3 from Cam Laughlin. That's his second of the game.
That is awesome for Cam Laughlin.
Started off the first half right off the tip with a 3-pointer, and now the second half also with another 3. As Jusianic with a pump fake puts the ball on the floor, almost draws the and one there, as he'll head to the line for 2 shots.
It has got to feel great for Laughlin to be able to hit 2 threes on his senior night, and we are not even close to finished yet. I believe we are looking at, that is number 3, Max Jusianic at the line. Based on what we've seen so far, you've got to expect he's a pretty good free throw shooter, as he shows his free throw shooting form and knocks down that free throw without any problem at all. Looks to make the second one here.
And he knocks down a 2 of 2 from the line.
Now the Wellsville squad is playing semi-press defense as Haggart has the ball in his hands. Looks for a man to pass to, finds Laughlin, thinks about the shot, passes it over to Chamberlain, drives inside, perhaps sloppy pass, ends up in the hands of Wellsville as they show some tremendous effort saving it from going out of bounds.
I actually think that might not have been a pass. I think he was just driving in and got the ball tipped out of his hands.
Think so?
I do believe so. I believe he was putting it on the floor and then the ball was tipped into the air. That's what I saw from my angle anyways.
Who was that last player to score, Sean?
I believe that was
have
Colin
been
Cook.
Oh, I thought that was number 2, Alec Acampamora, but I'm not quite sure. We'll have to get a fact check for you there. As Haggart brings it down the floor, dribbles, looks like he's doubled. Nick Flemmer, wide open 3, cannot hit. Looks like Rosington gets that offensive rebound, which the Hawks have been looking for. His man falls down, gets another offensive rebound, passes it back out to Chamberlain, gets the...
And that's going to be a charge right there.
I had the suspicion that was going to be a charge when they blew the whistle. And now to inbound for Wellsville, we have number 25, Jimmy McKinley, passing it over to Jusianic. who's had a juicy jumper here tonight. Ball ends up in the hands of number 20, number 2, Alec Acampomora, as the Wellsville squad passes it around the 3-point line.
You know, I've heard a lot of things in my day, but I don't think I've ever heard a jump shot described as juicy.
Hey, man, I was just looking for an adjective I could use, and I thought it might work, so I kind of just threw it in there. Ball in the hands of Flemmer, passes it over to Laughlin, over to Haggard. Drives inside, using that incredible length. Incredible finish!
God.
Oh, my God!
Switches from the left to the right hand, protecting the ball on the other side. As he gets that one to go, as he'll look to capitalize on the 3-point play.
The college scouts in the audience have to be just drooling over a player with that kind of finishing ability, that kind of shooting, and that kind of athleticism. Oh my God, just an incredible finish as he banked it off the backboard with some incredible English on the ball. And there's no way anybody thought he was going to be able to make that finish, but somehow put it through the rim. As he does miss that free throw.
He's been struggling from the free throw line
well,
a bit
to his
tonight,
standards, I think he's 3 out of 5, which is 60%. Still not terrible.
I thought he was 4 for 7, Alex.
Oh,
I think
4
that's
for
his
7?
third
Really?
miss, yeah. And
Oh,
Juicy
man.
Anak, of course, once again putting the ball in the hoop from deep.
No surprise there as Wellsville expands their lead to 9 points.
I believe this is the highest the lead has been all game as Bill Hopkins calls a timeout. Oh, or...
Not quite sure what's going on right now. As into the game is Jackson Casey being subbed in for... Who's Jackson Casey being subbed in for, Sean?
He's being subbed in for Nick Flemmer, who appears to be talking to Anthony Penn over there, the healer of injuries for the sports.
Healer. Big tone, some men on the team call him. As Haggard almost gets out of bounds, looks for Rosington, and he gets the shot up and in. Rosington has been having a night.
It appears that over there, Flemmer getting his wrist checked out maybe, as Anthony working his way around, trying to see what the problem is and find a solution.
Here is number 2, Alec Acampomora, over to number 23. I believe that is Joe Trinetti, excuse me. Pass inside from Haggard cannot reach its mark as it is tipped out of bounds, and looks like Wellsville, oh, excuse me, looks like the Hawks will inbound, as looks like that's Jackson Casey looking to inbound to Lucas Rosington, over to Aiden Chamberlain, who is unable to hit 3. Sean, I'll tell you, I don't think three-point shooting has exactly been his strength this season. I think his biggest strength is on the defensive end. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think Chamberlain has a lot of area of growth and a lack of desire when it comes to jump shooting right there. However, I do think he does have so many years left to improve upon it. And I definitely think come his senior year, I'm sure the discussion will be talking about how great of a shooter he is, not his lack of shooting.
Tremendously. That's definitely true here, Sean. After I graduate, I'm going to come back and see Aiden Chamberlain when he's a senior, and he's going to be putting up some incredible numbers, probably very similar to what Jordan Haggard is doing right now.
Speaking of Haggard, it appears that him and Trinetti were exchanging some words on that last play. Perhaps some good old trash talking as Casey knocks down the 3 in
There he is,
corner.
the 8th grader showing out in varsity basketball as he hits a huge three-point jumper. He gets a steal. He runs down the floor. The 8th grader. Oh! That is awesome. The crowd is going wild for Jackson Casey, who is just playing
sequence.
Phenomenal basketball. Just brilliant to see right here as the Hawks cut the lead to just 2 points.
I can see Jackson's dad in the crowd. He's loving one. Oh, my goodness.
It's just a display out here tonight. Juicy Anak, again, that's his 4th or 5th 3. He's just a beautiful basketball player. Just fantastic to watch. as we're looking at Jackson Casey, fresh off that 3, looking for a man to pass to. Dribbles a lot, finds.
Laughlin
Can it be?
Oh,
maybe not.
All right. Hawks had a lot of momentum going right there. Juiceanic dives for the ball. That's going to be out of bounds. That'll be corning ball. Nice sportsmanship by Haggard there, helping Juiceanic up.
I'm sure there's lots of
mutual respect.
There you go. We're finishing each other's sentences here today.
We've just got the connection, man. It's what it is.
We definitely do, Sean. As Jordan Haggard has the ball inbounded to him by Jackson Casey, as he's dribbling across the midcourt line. Puts it behind the back, puts it on the floor, almost turns it over. Looks like, not sure what the call is here.
And that's going to be a 30-second timeout, I believe, by Coach Bill Hopkins. I'm sure
probably not too bad a timeout right there from head coach Bill Hopkins.
I'm sure that was just to keep control of the possession and not lose the ball, considering Haggard was on the floor looking for someone to pass to.
Absolutely. Maybe get the players a little breather here, as that was a wild sequence, and all their hearts have to be pounding.
Especially
right
considering
now.
They only have 8 players to put in the game. I'm sure the hydration's going to be key. As you can see, most of the players right there getting rehydrated, ready to check back into the game.
Well, Sean, I'd like to point out, I think it was around 4 years ago when Duke won the national title of March Madness, only having, I think it was 7 or 8 players on their squad. So it can definitely be done.
It's
you just got to have
manageable.
fantastic conditioning, which I think this team does.
Yeah, this team, some weekends have practices ranging anywhere from 2 to even 4 hours at some point.
2 to 4 hours.
Yeah, so I'm
that has
sure
got to be taxing on their bodies, but they've got to be all in tremendous shape right now. And playing defense for the Hawks, we have Jackson Casey. A little bit on the smaller side, but definitely putting in his time on the defensive end. Almost a steal there for Rosington, as it results in an open shot for Wellsville as they get into the lane with number 25, Jimmy McKinley, as Haggard brings it up the floor, having the Hawks have brought the lead back to 2, and now it's back to 7. That's got to take the air out of their sails just a little bit, as does that turnover, which ends up in the hands of number 22, Alex Acampamora.
Juiceanic drives by, great dish off, and that's actually going to be a charge.
By Juiceanic?
And that is going to go against Juiceanic. Haggard got into position last second.
Definitely not a guy you want with a lot of fouls, as he is a key right now for the Wellsville offense.
And right now, Trinetti back into the game for Wellsville. He's checking back in for Jimmy McKinley.
Haggard taking the 3. Oh, I was just about ready to say he was going to splash it, but just rims out. Looks like the ball is again in the hands of Juiceanic. Thinking about driving, dribbles backwards. He's got Chamberlain, perhaps the Hawks' best defender on him, as Chamberlain is playing some fantastic defense. Ends up in the hands of number 23.
And
that is
Trinetti
Joe
almost
Trinetti.
Knocks down that 3.
Fantastic rebound from Haggard, just fighting men off of him. Passes down to Rosington.
Back out to Laughlin for 3. He hits it! Cam Laughlin with his 3rd 3 of this game. That's 9
That
for
is
him.
Awesome. Cam Laughlin has to be elated about the kind of playtime and shots he's been able to put down in this game. Kind of makes you wonder how he hasn't gotten more playtime throughout the season, as how have they been leaving a talent like this on the bench?
I'm sure.
Number 15 for Wellsville gets into the lane, Sean. Sorry I've kind of been cutting you off here. There's just so much to say about this epic game, as here Haggard rolls inside and gets the foul.
And that's actually going to leave 1.5 seconds left on the clock in the 3rd quarter.
Definitely sets up for a fantastic 4th, as, I believe that might be a foul on the floor. Just kidding. He'll shoot free throws.
Yeah. I'm sure head coach Bill Hawkins rethinking his decision right now, sitting out Laughlin, for most of this season, as tonight he's been putting on a scoring show. I'm sure that's going through the back of his mind right now, and a little bit of sweet revenge for Cam Laughlin.
Quite honestly, I wouldn't take out this lineup for the rest of the game, as they are just putting on a complete show. As Haggard knocks down the free throw.
And that's
what are
going
you
to be
talking about? Struggles from the free throw line. Watch him ice this one too. As he does just that.
Some might even say that free throw was a bit juicy.
You might say that, Sean. You might say that.
As we
Watch that catch on.
We head into the fourth quarter with just a 4-point deficit for this Corning squad. The score being 42-44. Wellsville in the lead. Alex, what did you see there in that third quarter?
Sean, I'll tell you, I enjoyed that third quarter of action tremendously, especially having the privilege of being able to call it. There's just loads of offensive talent on the floor right now, as the Hawks and Wellsville have been hitting just incredibly difficult shots. I believe Haggard had that one shot, that one finish through defenders, which was just one for the highlight reel. Just an incredible shot. And I believe his name's Max Jusianic, the 6'4" senior from Wellsville, has just been putting on a show on offense here tonight. No doubt that both Haggard and Jusianic will be playing ball after high school.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to catch a word with Jusianic after the game and check about his college interest, because I'm sure if he hasn't gotten any, the scouts here for Haggard tonight might look to pick him up.
Absolutely. The not the Wellsville Scouts, excuse me, the Mansfield Scouts?
Yes.
I believe that's what they said. Mansfield, I think they've got to be looking to give offers to both Jusianic and Haggard here tonight, as maybe you got to wonder what Laughlin could have been had he played basketball throughout his high school career.
I do believe I was saying before the game, excuse me, Alex.
You're quite all right.
In my opinion, second most talented player on the court behind Haggard. However, just didn't seem like he was in the right opportunity, considering that this was his first year in a long time of organized basketball.
Weird sequence there for the Hawks, as Casey makes an impressively athletic play to get it. Oh, there's a shot from Jordan Haggard. There's another one for the highlight reel, excuse me, as he just steps back and hits a cold-blooded mid-range jumper.
Don't be surprised if this fourth quarter contains a lot of Jusianic as well as a lot of Haggard. I'm sure they're going to be trading buckets with hopefully a couple threes chipped in there from Laughlin, as well as right now Casey guarding Jusianic in the post, giving it all as he hit the floor right there.
Impressive
somehow
effort to keep
grabs
his
the rebound.
Foot. Now we are looking at, I believe that's Jackson Casey with the ball. The little 8th grader passes it over to Haggard, back to Casey.
He's getting pressured up top by
Eric Kopf with the ball. Passes it over to Aiden Chamberlain, takes the three, hits it!
And we were talking about his jumper earlier.
Dogs have the lead. A 1-point lead in the fourth quarter. They have fought back, I believe at one point being down 7, 8, or even 9 points.
I believe it was 9 points, Alex.
9 points. This has been an incredible show of...
Oh my God, and I believe that was not going to be a continuation, but Jusianic just flipping that ball up after the whistle as he faded out of bounds and swishing it.
He's just an effortless... He just looks effortless out there. Everything looks easy to him. And perhaps not the best defensive play right there, as number 15 for Wellsville, Aiden Cook, easily gets to the rim there. I think they just got caught sleeping on the defensive end. As Casey brings it inside, passes outside to Chamberlain, looks back to Casey, thinks about it, starts to dribble inside, passes outside. That's going to be a shot. Oh, cannot quite hit it.
Casey with the offensive rebound.
I think that's his second or third of the game. You don't expect to have many of those out of the on the 8th grader on the shorter side, but he's just been showing some incredible effort here tonight. What were you about to say, Sean?
I was going to say that Chamberlain, 2 missed threes in that possession, adds a little back down to earth, as we might say. And right there, Akampora dribbling the ball off his leg as it appears. And right there, a couple great minutes from Kopf, putting in some solid work. However, Rossington going to check back into the game.
Eric Kopf, definitely a solid player as he is very tall, which is definitely very valuable for the Hawks. Looks like Casey will inbound to Chamberlain. Just really nice speed from Casey. He might not be the biggest guy out there, but he's definitely the quickest and shows it off right there. Puts it
that's going to be called
backboard.
a travel.
Oh, that's
wow.
unfortunate. He's got a little limp in his step as he...
Might have gone dead-legged right there.
Oh, you might want to have Tony take a look at that. Excuse us for a moment. Sienna cannot quite hit that one. Offensive rebound. Almost a nice finish as Wellsville is able to get that one up and in. That's Aiden Cook, the 6'4" forward from Wellsville. As now the lead is back to a 3-point Wellsville lead, excuse me.
As it appears Casey will check out right there and head right down to the end of the bench to see Anthony right now.
Yeah, that's probably a good call, especially considering how well he's played and how hard he's played. He's been going he's just shown off some incredible effort here tonight. You really got to hand it to the kid.
And keep in mind, not losing much right there by putting Flemmer back into the game, as he can do most of the stuff Casey does, however, not quite as flashy as Haggard gets doubled right there. Back out to Chamberlain.
Chamberlain bringing it inside, passes back up top to Flemmer. Flemmer looks for a man to pass to, does an awful lot of dribbling, gets inside. Oh, just kidding, that's Laughlin, hit it! Oh! Of course, we're not exactly supposed to root for either team here at CPPtv, but we can root for players, and Laughlin is one of those guys who you just want to see put it through the rim.
See, I'm no bias here. I'm rooting for Juicy Anik out here. I just want everyone doing well, having a great time, and as it appears both teams are.
I just want to see as much offense as possible. Oh my God, what a play from Flemmer! Rosington! Oh my God, the dangle in the air. That was awesome.
By Nick Flemmer right there and right back on the
What a sequence. Oh my God. The lead is just 2 points here.
1 point.
1 point for Wellsville.
And right now, that is Cook out there. Loses his dribble, gets it back, and that's actually going to be foul against Nick Flemmer there. And it appears Akampora will check back into the game for Wellsville.
Nick Flemmer just made a nice effort play. And really just got the Hawks a nice 2 effort points.
He just wanted it more. I think that's what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
Willing to put his body on the line.
He's playing tenacious defense, too. I think that's the second time I've used that adjective.
Don't be surprised if that play by Flemmer kind of is a momentum switcher and gives the Hawks the edge here coming down late. And that's going to be another foul.
Not quite sure who that's on.
Once again, going against Flemmers. He's just trying to hold his own down low. However, that's where the size does come into play as a disadvantage, in the post especially.
Looks like we have number 23, Joe Trinetti. Oh, my God, that's the second time they've gotten them with that. They really can't be getting them with that if they want to have a chance at winning this game. That's 4 points, which the Hawks have left on the floor there, which I'm not sure Bill Hopkins is going to be too happy about. But what's done is done. All they can do is focus on these next couple offensive possessions.
Haggard thought about it, driving in, gets fouled there. That's going to be on the floor.
There. As the refs are definitely calling a very tight game here tonight. The whistles have come early and often as Haggard has shot. Oh, excuse me. That's a foul on the floor there. And ruled before he was in the shooting motion.
And Casey back on the bench right there. Not sure about his eligibility or not, but he is back with Anthony.
Looks like Flemmer has the ball. Steps back, passes to Chamberlain.
Haggard posting up on the three-point line, not something you see every day.
Chamberlain dribbles inside,
in between
pass at the
Laughlin's
feet of
legs.
Laughlin. He saves it from the backcourt violation. Open three for Chamberlain. Oh.
And that's another miss right there from deep from Chamberlain. However, gotta keep shooting it and hope it'll fall eventually.
Good offensive possession, though, as that was a fantastic shot. Just didn't quite fall for him.
Great shot selection there. It seems all of Chamberlain's threes so far this game have been good shot selection.
Ooh, almost an and one for, I believe that's...
Oh, that's going to be a charge right there.
A charge! Oh, wow. That's an interesting call. The refs definitely have not been afraid to call the offensive foul here in tonight's game, as they are definitely calling it fair, definitely keeping it pretty even between defensive calls and offensive calls.
And you can see Flemmer getting applauded by his teammates, getting hyped up for that play right there that he made just a couple minutes back.
I don't think we've seen the last of Nick Flemmer. The senior will be back in this game. This is his team and his school, and he just deserves another opportunity out here on the floor. We see Haggart with the ball, looking for a man to pass to, finds Casey, passes it inside to Rosington.
No
nice
call
offensive
there.
move, gets the ball in the rim. As, again, the lead is just 1 point.
And that's going to be a timeout right there by Coach Hopkins. Appears he's a little frustrated. Thought that might have been an and one.
Yeah, perhaps an and one would have
If
gone a
anything, I
long
think
way.
that might have been a charge against Rosington, as he did lower his shoulder
I
a
do
bit,
completely agree
knocking
with you,
the
Sean.
player over. However, a nice no
The
call
Hawks,
down there.
yeah, the Hawks will take it, but that might have been a charge, I won't lie.
Just a little bit, considering there's been a number of charges called this game, especially seems more than usual.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. The refs have definitely been very cognizant of that, not too quick to call the defensive foul. And I like that in a ref, really.
See, in the back of my mind, I just keep thinking, like, did Linda get her pizza or not?
Oh, my God. That's a little joke, as they called in the intercom before the start of the second half. If your name is Linda and you ordered a slice of pizza, we've got it ready for you. So that's just a quick piece of comic relief from this incredible basketball game, which we are witnessing with tons and tons of offense.
All right, back to all seriousness. Hawks being down one right now, 49-250 with just over 2 minutes left to play.
The Hawks are going with a lineup with Nick Gardner on the floor. We also have Chamberlain, Rossington, and Haggart.
Interesting.
And Casey, of
Gardner
course.
hasn't gotten the most minutes tonight, it seems, but however, is checking in the game late when it counts. That just shows, although I wouldn't consider that an off game, as he hasn't done much so far. However, not many minutes. Hopkins has a lot of trust in Gardner, as Gardner originally started, actually, this year on the JV squad. Was actually down there for just 2 days before Hopkins saw the opportunity to bring him up to the varsity squad.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's 1, 2, at least 4 underclassmen or middle schoolers on the floor for the Hawks here tonight. We might have as many underclassmen as we do.
Oh, and that's a steal from Haggard.
Oh,
He's taking
maybe.
it up. He puts it in. That gives the Hawks the lead. 1:40 left to go. Wellsville ball. All
What
the
a
pressure coming
finish.
against them right now.
He just dangled in the air and just dropped it in there. Oh my God, that was smooth. As we get the pass outside to Juicy Yannick, looking to hit a
I
shot.
thought he was gonna pull that.
Oh, I was getting excited.
And that's a no call right.
Oh.
That's a block right there, charged against Rossington.
My God, this has just been an incredible basketball game. The Hawks have fought down from, at one point, being down 9 points to now having the lead with 1 minute 21 seconds to go in the fourth quarter.
Excuse me, keep in mind that is Rossington's 4th foul right there. So 1 will sit him down for the rest of the game as Wellsville ties it up right there.
The game is tied.
Clutch shot by Trinetti at the line so far.
This free throw is huge because it dictates how the Hawks play their next couple of offensive possessions.
You can hear the chants coming out from the student section.
He misses it.
Haggard
Nice
gathers
rebound
the ball.
from Haggart. great box out. As he dribbles it up the floor, looks for a man to pass to, thinks about hitting Casey, does hit Casey. Casey dribbles it back, looks for somebody to pass to, dribbles it between his legs, finds Haggard again, goes inside, perhaps a foul.
Oh my goodness. Great finish right there by Haggard as he just put the ball between his legs and chucked it up, it seems.
Oh my God.
However, gets it to go.
That's just incredible. That's such a nice basketball play. I might cry.
If he hits this free throw, it's going to be hard for Wellsville to get back into this game.
Oh my goodness. That was a fantastic play from Jordan Haggard here on his senior night. This is one he will remember until he is on his deathbed, as he cannot hit the free throw.
His 4th missed free throw of the game. Not quite sure what's going on with Haggard. Seems he's been scoring at ease from the field. However, free throws not coming so easily to him tonight.
He's still an above average free throw shooter, maybe just having an off night from the line.
And that's going to be a timeout by Wellsville. They have under a minute left to try and get either 2 to tie or a 3 to take the lead.
Definitely does make for a very, very compelling last 51 seconds, as I don't think any of the fans here in the stands could have asked for more out of their $5 to come in and watch this basketball game.
An overtime would be really special as well, however.
I'll be honest, I'm kind of hoping to see some overtime so we can see as much of this basketball as possible. Excuse me. Make sure to also follow us on our Instagram at CPP.tv or our Twitter also at CPP_TV. And just make sure to tune in to all our broadcasts of Hawks basketball. This is our last one of the season here, but next year we will definitely be bringing you some coverage of Hawks basketball and perhaps some lacrosse coverage in the spring. So maybe a little teaser there to hold you over until we're...
I do not know a thing about lacrosse. I'm going to be completely honest.
I don't know anything. Oh my God!
Oh my God, Trinetti from 3 right there, getting the lead right back to Wellsville, and that's
another timeout. This offensive game is just incredible.
That's where that missed free throw by Haggard is really going to come back to bite him here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd be.
This is really gonna make Bill Hopkins sweat.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd be a lot more comfortable here if Haggard did hit just 1 out of those 4 free throws. How he has missed, however, throughout the season, it's just been an incredible shooter from the line. So you can't really blame him for having an off night, just not an opportune time.
Also, quick note on the fantastic performance by the referees here tonight. I don't know if they could have called a better game, as I don't know if there have been more than 2 or 3 calls which I've disagreed with.
I haven't seen, besides that one possible charge against Rossington, I can't
that's the only one I can think of. So this has just been an incredible game being called by these referees here tonight. Really, just a shout out to the referees.
You know, at the high school level, you know, it's really questionable whether you'll get some good or bad refs. However, this game, for sure, doing really well. Definitely
all the stars have aligned to make for a fantastic senior night here at Corning Painted Post High School.
And right now, 43.3 seconds left on the clock. If the Hawks do shoot the ball within the next 8.3 seconds, there will be a shot clock for Wellsville. However, if they don't, which it will be hard to do that, Wellsville will have no shot clock. So if Corning misses, they're going to have to foul to put Wellsville on the line or try and force a turnover.
Looks like the Hawks are just looking for a bucket here. They're not going to be worried about the shot clock. And now we have Casey dribbling it in the backcourt. Oh no, that's not good.
That's going to be a jump ball right there.
Who has the arrow? Looks like Wellsville has the arrow.
Oh, it's Wellsville ball.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, we're going to have to put him on the line.
The good news is that that error happened relatively early in the possession.
If the shot clock was winding down, figure 10 seconds left to go,
this game might be over.
It would be a lot harder to come back from that.
Some good fortune that such an error happened so early in the shot clock.
If you can call such an error a fortune, I mean,
Absolutely. And now we have still a 1-point Wellsville lead. So if we just foul them, they'll only go to the line for two free throws, and that would make it a 3-point game. If they miss one of them, then we're looking at a 2-point game, and then of course, if they miss both, we're looking at any bucket for the win.
Now keep in mind that both teams are not in the double bonus yet, so if we do foul here, it will be a 1-and-1 for Wellsville, so if they do miss that first free throw, they won't get a second chance. Giving Corning a nice chance to get back into the game. I'm sure that's what we're hoping for.
You got to imagine that puts a tremendous strain on their free throw shooters, especially with this student section rocking the way it is.
Yeah, the game is basically in whoever's hands goes to the free throw line.
The Hawks have to be face guarding everybody here. Maybe even, dare I say, try to get the 5-second violation. A very tough ask, but with the tenacious defenders that we have here on the floor, we can definitely pull it off. There is plenty of hope here in the building. Foul, foul, foul. There we go.
And definitely Jusianic, not the player you really want to send to the line. However, they inbounded the ball to him, and we have to put him on the line as soon as possible to stop that clock and get back possession.
Of course, if he misses the first free throw here, that is a live ball. And so, of course, the Hawks have their best rebounders that are Jordan Haggart and Lucas Rosington out on the floor tonight. And Rosington, of course, has 4 fouls, which you definitely have to be cognizant of this late in the game.
All right. Jusianic at the line. He puts it up. Oh my, nothing but the bottom of the net. Jusianic just so good under pressure, as he has been throughout the game.
I don't think he's hit rim on a free throw yet.
I don't even think he's rimmed in a three-pointer. I know he's missed a couple, but it seems every time he shoots a shot, it's either going to miss or be a nothing but net. As he does put that second one in 2. Oh,
there you go.
Goodness.
He's definitely got the free throw routine down.
And Chamberlain hesitating with the ball right there.
This is the game.
Casey.
Put it in the hands of one of your best players, Jackson Casey.
And
looks like Bill Hopkins definitely wants to draw up a play here.
Now, hold on a second. I'm pretty sure I just saw Jusianic making a motion to his coach, hitting his arm. So, part of that tells me that Wellsville might pull a sneaky one right here, send the Hawks to the line in hopes for a miss, and not give them a chance for a 3-point.
But doing that, they run the risk of the Hawks getting an offensive rebound. A tough ask on free throws, but still, that's dangerous.
However,
to do.
That's also not giving the Hawks a chance to shoot a 3-pointer there. Jusianic, definitely a high basketball IQ play. I'm curious to see whether or not Wellsville takes advantage of that.
I didn't think of it like that, but that could actually be a good play for Wellsville, as that's definitely an option. Would not provide exactly the finish that we want out here tonight, but it would provide some drama. Behind the scenes here today, both head coaches, I think, have done a fantastic job as Bill Hopkins Hawks. I've got to tell you, Sean, from the time that we called that game against Horseheads to now, I think the Hawks have improved tremendously, and I just can't say enough about the job that Bill Hopkins has done. Well, I don't know if it's Bill Hopkins. I'm not really inside on the team.
I think we're just good luck charms ever since we announced, It's just
Dude,
the
I
wins
actually
coming
think
in.
you're right about that. It feels
right.
like every time we're calling the game, something weird or interesting happens.
It appears they're not going for the foul right now. Screened by Roston.
Oh,
Haggard
open man
Euro steps.
outside.
Oh, almost missed it. 7.3 seconds left to go.
Oh, that's not the play I would have made. You had a wide open man in the corner.
However, Chamberlain was 1 of 6 from 3 so far this game, so I don't know if you trust him.
I'd still take my chances with that over having to foul with 7.6 seconds left. Not sure that's the play I would have made, as some missed free throws earlier in the game definitely coming back to bite the Hawks. But this, I just can't say enough about how tremendous a game we've gotten here today.
Definitely going to go down in the books as a special one, especially considering it's not just any night, senior night out here for the Hawks, which I'm sure they want to go home with a win.
Absolutely. This
sure
is
Wellsville
providing some high drama here, Sean. Sorry, what were you saying?
I'm sure Wellsville isn't going to give him to him easy, though, so I'm sure right now coach are looking up to drop a play. Just get Jusianic the ball. Get him the ball, put the ball in his hands, and get him
Honestly,
to the line.
I am doubling Max Jusianic if I am the Hawks, because he is the one player who you cannot have with the ball in his hands.
Keep in mind only 7 seconds left to play. If you do double a player, and then another player gets the ball inbound and is able to run down the court,
that could be bad.
That's dangerous.
Oh, actually,
that's dangerous.
There's just so much to think about late in the basketball game, as there's just a lot to worry about. Looks like the Hawks will put Jordan Haggard on Jusianic, best player on best player. Oh, my God. We're going to call another timeout, and we're going to do some more thinking about this, as the Hawks and Wellsville will continue to think about this one with 7.6 seconds left.
Interesting there. Very interesting. I do think that was actually the last timeout.
Yeah, not sure I would have made that.
Squad.
That seems like a very weird call. Yeah, I don't get that one.
I'm sure some of you listening know back in the day, Chris Webber actually choking the state championship with that excessive timeout call there. It kind of reminds me of a weird timeout call like that we're seeing here. However, I'm no basketball coach, and I trust in Coach Hopkins.
Yeah, we'll see what he ends up doing. I think that takes away his ability to draw up a play after they foul and Wellsville goes to the line.
You know, what they might be doing, Hopkins could be drawing up an offensive play here, and that way not wasting another timeout, not giving Wellsville, a chance to get into a defensive set, with Quinn just inbounding the ball and going immediately.
That's actually a very good idea.
That could be what's going on.
You've always got very good points, and always bringing up things that I haven't thought about before, Sean.
I appreciate that, Alex. You know, I'd consider myself an individual with a pretty high basketball IQ myself.
Absolutely, man. And let's see what the Hawks choose to do.
Oh, foul. Oh, you can see they tried giving it back to Jusianic.
Only wasted 1 second, as I'm not sure if this is a 1-and-1 or a straight 2 free throws.
That is going to be a 1-and-1.
Another
one
1-and-1.
foul would put them in the double bonus, which would be 2 free throws. However, right now, a 1-and-1 right here, which have we seen Cook at the free throw line yet tonight?
Why are they not putting out any other Wellsville players to try to get the rebound? Oh, they're just going to leave players back on defense, looks like. Just kidding. I stand corrected.
Right now, Corning putting their best offensive lineup in for sure.
How special would it be if Cam Laughlin got to take the last shot?
I'd love to see that. However, I'm sure it's drawn up for Haggard. He missed
get the ball! Get the ball! Bring it down the court!
Oh my!
No, you're wasting too much time. You're gonna have to pull it up.
It's
Hit the shot!
Oh! Would have been a great special moment.
It would have been.
To hit that shot.
Oh, just a 1-point loss on
That's
senior night has to hurt. As I'm not sure the Hawks like that. But it's been an entertaining, incredible game throughout. As I'm not sure we could have asked for a much better performance. Maybe going back to that last play there, I think they just wasted way too much time.
Chamberlain caught that ball. I think he had it for a good 2 seconds in his hands before even making a move there.
Yeah, you're right about that, I think.
I think his main instinct was to give the ball to Haggard, as they've done all season. However, with that little time left on the clock, that's just not something you can do.
Just an incredible game to watch. Not one I will soon forget. And I would be remiss if I didn't remind you that this is our last game of the season, getting to call Hawks basketball on WVHN.
You hate to see it.
We just really want to thank you all for tuning in all the time, to listen to Sean and I as we've grown. And this has been an incredible, incredible experience for me, and as I'm sure for you too, as for both of us, this is what we want to do with our lives.
I would just like to thank you guys, for giving us the opportunity to be able to do this, because without the viewers, we're just kind of talking to ourselves, but you guys giving us a platform and a chance to be able to reach out on,
Actually, shout out to our man behind the scenes back here, Max Hamilton. He's a senior.
None of this would be possible without him, man.
Absolutely. Just an incredible job that he's done with the entire CPPtv program. I'd like to thank, in general, just Corning Paint and Post High School, because they've provided us with so many opportunities, and I am just so grateful for the chance to be able to do this, and to be able to show this to colleges that I've already had some prior experience doing this. So just really lots of thankfulness for me.
I know a lot of you guys, as well as me and Alex, are sad to see these basketball games commentating come to an end. However, I also know there are a lot of you that don't watch our shows every day, which I think you should definitely tune into. We do have sports segments on our show for all you sports lovers out there, so make sure to tune in. Check out our show. It usually goes around 2:58 p.m. Eastern Time. You can check us out on tailwindnews.com, or check out our YouTube channel at CPPtv. Make sure to subscribe, as well as turning post notifications on.
For everybody here at Corning Painted Post Television, I'm Alex Windsor.
And I'm Sean Powers.
Signing off. See you next year.